I'm Libby. I'm an educator here at the Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, and I'm usually the person behind the camera. So for those of you who supported our GoFundMe, you were helping support me. If you haven't done that, there's a link in the description down below, and it not only helps support our YouTube channel, but also all of the things that the museum is going to be doing over our closure for winter 2020. But today I'm here to answer one of our most asked questions because I'm also the person who answers your questions when you leave them in the comments. So if you haven't left us a comment before with your question, make sure you do that. And if you have and we haven't answered yet, we will get there. We've gotten a lot of questions, but in the 200 plus videos we filmed so far, in almost all of them at some point we see one of these. It's called a bullseye. So essentially all it is it's telling you what your location is on board. It also helps you figure out where it is that you're trying to get to. If you can remember what the bullseye was for where you're trying to go, it can help you get there. 2 is going to tell you what level the ship you're on. So we are on second deck right now. We're one deck down from the main deck. There's 0 before it, it means you're above the main deck. 68 is going to tell you what your frame number is. So each frame is 4 feet apart from each other. We have a whole video on frame numbers if you want the nitty-gritty details about how they're not all actually 4 feet apart from each other. But it's going to tell you about how far back into the ship you are from the front. And the frame number is always going to be the one furthest forward, closest towards the front of the ship, because there are many frames that pass through each compartment. That's what the second line is here, frame 68 through 74. 1 here is just going to tell you whether you're on port or starboard. It's just the way that it is. Odd numbers are going to be on the starboard side, even numbers will be on the port side, 0 meaning you're on the center line. There's not an easy way to remember that, that's just the way that it is. And then your last on the top line here, for this compartment it's an L, means it's a living space. There's different letters that you can have as an option there, and really it's just telling you what the space is used as. So berthing compartments, passageways, these are all living spaces. But you might see a letter that signifies that it's a magazine or a fuel space or a void space, just signifying what it is. So that way, if you just end up in a compartment, you can say, I roughly know what this is and where I am. Again, second line tells you your frame numbers, how far back into the ship you are. It's also going to tell you how big that compartment really is. Your third line is going to tell you who's in charge of that particular space, especially for cleaning that particular space. And for us, we have a 4th line on most of our bullseyes on this ship. And that's not something you're necessarily going to find on most ships. Many museum ships, however. And really what it is this is the compartment number for World War II. So when they first built the ship, this is the compartment number system that they were using. But they phased that system out at the end of World War II and phased in this more complete system. And the new sailors didn't know how to read the old system, but the old system is what's on the original blueprint, so they kept both. And the old system's fairly simple. The first letter is going to tell you which quarter of the ship you're in. A, B, C, and D. We're in the first quarter of the ship forward. The next number is going to tell you again, we're on second deck. And the 2 numbers that come after that are interesting. Instead of doing it by frame number and then port or starboard, it's just the 14th compartment on second deck, section A. So it's not a great identifier of exactly where you are, but there's only so many compartments. It gives you a good idea of where you are. And again, the 1 is going to tell you that we are on the starboard side of the ship, and L for living space. So they're not super different systems, but the newer system is a little bit more accurate. Again, thanks for joining us. If you've got other questions, let us know. We love to answer questions for folks. I love to see all the things that you guys send our way. And again, we have a GoFundMe campaign going. Check the description down below for that information. And thanks for joining us.